Hello everyone, my name is Hamad Ahmed and I am here to present our project titled AI Assisted Analysis and Prediction of At-Risk Diabetic Individuals. This research was conducted with my colleague Inshra Javed under the supervision of Dr. Maliha Azam and Dr. Umar Khan at ComSets University, Islamabad. In today's presentation, we will cover the following topics. First, we'll start with introduction, then research gap, research hypothesis, objectives, methodology, results, and then conclusion. And after that, we'll move on to the question answers. So let's start with what diabetes really is. Diabetes is a chronic disease characterized by high blood sugar levels, which can lead to various severe complications like heart disease, ulcer, in diabetes, the body either does not produce enough insulin or cannot effectively use the insulin it produces. The global prevalence of diabetes has also been increasing, making it a significant public health problem. There are three main types of diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune condition usually diagnosed in childhood or early adulthood. In this type of diabetes, the body attacks its own insulin producing cells. Type 2 diabetes is the most common and it is often linked with lifestyle factors such as diet and physical activity. In this type, the body cannot use the insulin properly. Gestational diabetes is the third type of main types of diabetes. It occurs during pregnancy and it usually resolves after childbirth, but it can increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in life. The complications associated with diabetes are severe. These complications are not only impacting the quality of life for individuals, but they also impose an economic burden on healthcare systems globally. Now let's see this graph here. As we can see in 2014, there were almost 420 million diabetic individuals. But in 2030, we can see that this number is going to increase from 4 420 million to 580 million. That's why early detection and management of diabetes is very important. Early detection of diabetes can also help to avoid severe complications like heart disease, ulcer, etc. Artificial intelligence and machine learning can also play a vital role in improving early detection and providing personalized treatment. These technologies offer accurate prediction, making healthcare more accessible and efficient. Despite the advances in diabetes research, there are still significant research gaps. First, traditional diagnostic methods for diabetes are uncomfortable and are not universally accessible. This means that many people might avoid testing due to the discomfort or lack of availability. There is also a lack of user-friendly and comprehensive prediction tools for diabetes. Additionally, we think that there is a better need of integration of artificial intelligence in preventive healthcare and a more comprehensive analysis of multifactorial risk factors related to diabetes is also needed. Our research hypothesis focuses on utilizing AI to predict the risk of diabetes. We have formulated our hypothesis in two ways. Method 1, our hypothesis is that AI assisted tools can accurately predict the risk of diabetes by analyzing multiple health indicators such as age, BMI, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and other lifestyle factors. Method 2, our hypothesis is also supported by previous research that highlights the effectiveness of AI in healthcare diagnostics. These studies have suggested that machine learning algorithms can improve the accuracy of disease prediction and early detection. Thus, we aim to apply these insights specifically to diabetes risk prediction. There are three primary objectives of our study. First is to conduct an in-depth analysis of various diabetes risk factors, then to develop an AI-assisted tool for predicting diabetes risk using machine learning algorithm, and then convert that tool into a user-friendly web application for ease of use. To achieve our objective, we have followed the following methodology. First, we collected our data, then we pre-processed it, and then the pre-processed data was used for data visualization and analysis for better understanding. And then the data was split into testing and training set for model training. And then the model was evaluated using accuracy, sensitivity, specificity, and AUC. And then we compared each model. The best performing model was then selected for the at-risk diabetic prediction tool, and then the tool was converted into the web app. We collected our data from a publicly available Kaggle dataset based on the Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System 2014 from Central Disease Control USA. The dataset includes approximately 254,000 data points and 22 features. It covers demographics, lifestyles, and clinical measurements, and it also includes both diabetic and diabetic individuals as labels. And this graph represents the features of our data. Our data was highly imbalanced. As we can see on this pie chart, there was almost only 14% of diabetic individuals and 86% non-diabetic individuals. So we balanced the data set using the random oversampling technique to ensure equal representation of diabetic and non-diabetic cases. So basically what random oversampling does is increases the number of instances in the minority class by duplicating random examples. Thereby, we do not lose any data. The data analysis and visualization were conducted using Matplotlib and Seaborn Python libraries. We used correlation matrices to identify relationships between variables, bar graphs, and pie charts for distribution analysis. These visualizations helps us to understand the data better. The data was split into two sets, testing and training, 20% for testing and 80% of the data was split into training. We trained several machine learning models, including logistic regression, random forest, gradient boosting machine, neural networks, nearest neighbor, XGBoost, Light GBM, decision tree, naive Bayes, and AdaBoost. These models were selected for their proven effectiveness in classification tasks. For our model evaluation and comparison, we use several key matrices to determine the performance of each model. We used accuracy, sensitivity, specificity, and area under the curve. Accuracy measures how many of the model's predictions were actually correct overall. And sensitivity, also known as recall, this matrix shows how well the model can identify actual positive cases. Specificity measures how well the model can identify actual negative cases. And area under the curve, AUC, represents the overall performance of the model by combining sensitivity and specificity. We then compared the model using the key matrices as we discussed in the previous slide. Then we identified the top performing model based on the comprehensive performance overview. We also examined the confusion matrices for each model to gain detailed insights into their performance. By using this evaluation approach, we were able to select the most accurate and reliable model for our diabetes prediction tool, ensuring it delivers precise risk assessment for users. In developing our at-risk diabetes prediction tool, we use Python to create an interactive application based on the best performing model identified during the evaluation process. This tool requires several inputs from the user, including age, BMI, blood pressure, cholesterol levels, various lifestyle factors such as physical activity and smoking habits. Using these inputs, the tool provides real-time assessments of an individual's risk of developing diabetes. Additionally, it offers personalized recommendations based on the user's health indicators, helping them to manage their health proactively and take preventive measures where necessary. By incorporating these factors, our tool aims to empower users with very valuable insights into their health, promoting early intervention and better management of diabetes risk. We developed the web application with a React front end for a responsive and interaction user interface and a Flask backend for efficient data processing and integration with the machine learning model. The random forest model was integrated for real-time assessment in this app. On this slide, we start with our results. We can see here the correlation heat map of our analysis. Our goal was to identify the significant positive and negative correlations with diabetes. Starting with the positive correlation, we can see that high blood pressure has the highest correlation with diabetes. High cholesterol and body mass index have 0.29 correlation with diabetes. We can also see that age has 0.27 and also difficulty walking. These findings indicate that individuals with higher values in these parameters are more likely to be diabetic. On the other hand, we also identified several negative correlations. General health showed a minus 0.41 negative correlation with diabetes. Physical activity also showed a 0.16 negative correlation with diabetes, and income level and education have also showed a negative correlation with diabetes. Now let's see how various factors affect diabetes. First, we have age and diabetes. This graph illustrates diabetes prevalence by age group. As we can see that as we move through age groups in this graph, we can see the prevalence of diabetes across different age groups is increasing. This means that age can be a significant high risk factor for diabetes. As we can see from here, at age 40 to 44, there is almost 30% diabetic individuals. As we move across age groups, we can see that on the age 55 to 59, there are almost 50% of diabetic and non-diabetic individuals. This peaks at the age of 70 to 74, in which there are almost 63% diabetic individuals. Now let's look at some other health indicators and their relationship with diabetes prevalence. The first graph here shows a significant association between high cholesterol levels and diabetes. Individuals with high cholesterol level have a higher prevalence of diabetes, almost 64%, compared to those without high cholesterol. The second graph highlights the strong correlation between high blood pressure and diabetes. We see that individuals with high diabetes have a higher prevalence of diabetes, almost 66%, compared to those without blood pressure, almost 28.5%. The third graph indicates a notable relationship between smoking and diabetes. Smokers have a higher prevalence of diabetes 54.6 compared to non-smokers 45.9. These graphs further illustrate the importance of monitoring these health indicators as part of diabetes prevention and management efforts. By addressing these factors, we can potentially reduce the risk and prevalence of diabetes in at risk populations. Now, let's see how other health indicators contribute to diabetes. In the first graph, we can see the total diabetic and non diabetic individuals by gender. As we can see here, that diabetes is not gender dependent. It can happen to any gender, either male or female. In the second graph, we can see how general health compares to diabetes. We can see that individuals reporting poor health have a much higher prevalence of diabetes, almost 79%, when comparing to those with excellent health, which is almost 14%. The third graph in this slide shows the BMI group of total non-diabetic and diabetic individuals. So we can see that the prevalence of diabetes is high in the obese category, almost 63%. These visualizations help us understand the significant role these factors play in the prevalence of diabetes and underscore the importance of addressing these factors in diabetes prevention and management strategies. We also saw in our correlation heat map that education level and income levels also played a significant role related to diabetes. Here is the graph of education for each diabetic and non-diabetic individual, and this is the income level of diabetic and non-diabetic individuals. We can see that lower education levels were linked to higher diabetes prevalence, with the highest rate observed among individuals with minimal education. Similarly, we can see that lower income levels are associated with higher diabetes prevalence. The people with more than $75,000 have less diabetes prevalence than people with low income. So now let's discuss the results of our model evaluation. Our best performing model is Random Forest, which achieved an impressive accuracy of 93%. As you can see from the table, the random model outperforms other models across these matrices. The decision tree also performed well with a high sensitivity. K nearest neighbor and cat boost are other noteworthy models with decent performance matrices. The diabetes prediction tool developed as a part of this project features a user-friendly interface, a real-time risk assessment, and a personalized recommendations based on the health indicators. It also gives the contributing factors that which factors were associated with your risk. In the next slide, we will see our web app. So this is the home page of our diabetes prediction app. We named the app PreDiab. This is the About Us page of our diabetes prediction app, and this is the Contact Us page of our pre-diab app. This we left it as a dummy. We'll fill it later. So this here is now the questionnaire which we need to fill in order to get our diabetes risk. This consists of several factors which we need to fill in order to get our diabetes risk. As we can see here, we have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. We have age and also other factors. We can also calculate our BMI through this website. So now let's calculate my BMI. My weight is 90 and I'm 6 foot 3. So I'm normal weight with 24.8. So let's go back to our prediction app and now let's predict my diabetes. Uh, I have I have high blood pressure and I also have high cholesterol. My BMI was 28.4 and I have checked my cholesterol in the last 5 years. I have never smoked. I have never had a stroke and I also never had a heart disease or heart attack. I also regularly engage in physical activity instead of going to my job. I don't consume alcohol. I don't have any healthcare coverage. Have you ever seen doctor, but do not. No, this is not. I would rate my general health to be very good. No, good, sorry. And I didn't have any bad mental health or physical health in the past month. I don't have difficulty walking stairs. I'm a male. My age group is 18 to 24. I'm a college graduate. I recently did my bachelor's degree. So now here we can see that I currently do not have diabetes, but I am currently at 11% risk of developing diabetes in the future. The factors contributed were high blood pressure and high cholesterol. We can also see that this app gives us recommendations related to our contributing factors. We can see that here we have high blood pressure as our contributing factors, and the app has given us recommendation of high blood pressure that how we can manage it. So now let's predict another test. In this test, I am going to get the results of an individual who has diabetes. So now let's see. I'm going to set the general health to poor. So now here we have different results. We can see here that there are almost five contributing factors which contributed to this result, and we can see that the user who has these type of health indicators has high diabetes according to our app, or he already has diabetes. We can see the contributing factors: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high BMI, lack of physical activity, and poor general health. So, the first recommendation that our app gives when you have high diabetes is that it suggests you to see a doctor as soon as possible. And then it suggests you to manage these contributing factors so you can avoid getting any severe complications. And you can all the app also suggests you to search the diabetes doctors near you. As we can see a button here which we will click, and it will take us to the Google page which searches for diabetes doctors near me. So now let's see how we calculated this diabetes risk. To calculate our diabetes risk, we use the predict underscore proba method of our random forest model. This method gives us two probabilities, one for not developing diabetes and one for developing diabetes. We take the probability of developing diabetes and multiply it by 100 to get a percentage. If the percentage is more than 50%, we classify the person as having a high risk of diabetes. For example, a probability of 70% of developing diabetes means that the person is at high risk of diabetes. Our study identified the risk factors for diabetes, including age, BMI, general health, and economic barriers. The random forest model demonstrated the highest accuracy in reliability in predicting diabetes risk, making it the best choice for our tool. The AI assisted tool we developed promotes early detection and proactive healthcare management. It also provides personalized recommendations to reduce diabetes risk, and it is an accessible tool for a broad audience. This tool has a potential to improve diabetes prevention and management significantly. Future research should focus on enhancing model performance with additional data and advanced techniques, expanding the application to other diseases and health conditions, and continuously improving the web application for better user experience and accuracy. All praise to Allah Almighty for blessing us in completing this research, and we thank our supervisor Dr. Maliha Azam for her help and support throughout this journey. Our co-supervisor Dr. Umar Khan also provided guidance and taught us the various techniques used in this study. We are also very grateful to our dearest parents who have always prayed for our success and encouraged us in every way possible. Thank you so much for your attention throughout this presentation, and I hope the information shared was insightful and valuable. Now we move on to the question answers. Feel free to ask us any question or share your thoughts on this research. Your feedback and queries are highly appreciated. The emails of the authors are provided in this slide. You can contact us through these emails.